Yeah, and then there's a folder for you on the table. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start so that you guys can get out of here. This probably isn't going to take as long as it's on the schedule for, so hopefully we'll get through a little faster. Everybody has a folder. In your folder, just to kind of go over the things that are in there, you have 2 reports that are class lists. These are all of the kids who have taken the screener as far as I know. So there aren't any more screeners sitting out there that haven't been assigned to anybody. The one that doesn't have very many columns is the ASQ SE2. So this is a social emotional one. The one with all the columns is the ASQ3. Just a little bit of information as you're looking at these. On the SE2 screener, if it's below cutoff, that's a good thing. So this one, the one that is vertical, is below cutoff is good. The landscape one, below cutoff is, above cutoff is good. So they don't use the same terms. So above cutoff is fine on the long one. Below cutoff is fine on the shorter one. So as you're looking at stuff. So this is your class report. Behind that is a packet of learning activities for each of the categories on the ASQ3 screener. I went ahead, you all have this book in your building, but I think there's just one copy of it. And I know you guys don't have time to go like try to hunt it down and find it and share it. So I copied the months of the activities that apply to the kids in your building. So we start at 36 months and go up through 60. That's as high as it goes in the book. The book goes birth through, so we didn't need that part. Really, the activities would work for any age. It just gives you more options. So as we're looking at activities today, just know you can do all of those. And they're grouped together. So all of the communication activities are labeled in that packet together. So that's on the left side of your folder. On the right side, you have a class sorting sheet. And we're going to go ahead and fill that out today. And I'm also going to have you add kids onto this sheet that you think, because you've had them for 9 weeks, maybe aren't really doing as well in a category as they should be, so that we can give parents resources for those. We have a sorting sheet. The second sheet is this classroom play and routines. So this is just to think about, and we'll kind of go through that later. We're going to think about things that you regularly do in the classroom and possibly some kids that you need to target in each of those areas to just think more specifically about. The last sheet that looks like that is just a parent practice routines and ideas. You may or may not use this. It's just extra in there in case you want to. And then the really weird thing that ASQ does not do is give you an individual student report. So the only way that we can pull up student information on that website is by your whole class. So I generated these for you for each of your kids so that you have something to give to parents. So the long one is their ASQ3, and it says the screener that's at the top. And then the second page, and they're stapled together for you, is the SE2. And so it's just the one score. And then I did leave space then for you when you're having conference with parents, you can give them this. And then this is kind of where you can write down maybe what their goals are for their kids or ideas that you have for them or suggestions for things that they could do to help. So that's what all of these reports are. So we would really like you to give these out at conferences, which is why we're meeting on them now, and then just kind of talk to parents about it. The cutoff score, you'll notice when you look at your reports, is different for each kid, or for lots of kids, the cutoff score is different. It's because they do these cutoff scores by month. So depending on where the kids fall in that age range, so they may have taken the 60-month screener, but everybody with the same 60-month screener doesn't have the same cutoff score because it's by month. So that's why when you look at that, cutoff scores will be different. So any questions about any of the materials that are in your in your packets? Okay, so really all we're going to do today is I would like you to take this first class sorting sheet and start looking through your data. Kids that are marked as monitoring under each of these categories, you'll fill in their names on here so you can see them all in one place. If you have any other kids that need support that you're noticing in the classroom that maybe aren't on here, or if you have a kid on one of your reports that shows that they're a higher need than monitoring, then you'll write their name down there underneath the support. And then once you fill out this, then you add your own kids, and we'll talk about what you need to do with providing their information. So this is just a little bit of work time for you to mark down your kids. All of the information you need is on your sheets that I gave you, so you don't have to look at each kid's page. So you should hopefully, that should be faster.
Take about 10 minutes to jot your information down for monitoring and needs support. Pause the video, and then when you're ready to start it again.
Okay. So real quick before I have you tab activities, let's look at the classroom play routine and just kind of brainstorm with each other for some of the monitoring areas that you guys have. What would be some routines that you do in your classroom, and then possibly some activities that you could do during those routines to help with some of the skills. So when you looked at your report, what areas did you guys have most of your kids who weren't meeting the target in? Was there one over in there? Problem solving and fine motor. What do you have most of your kids in? Gross motor.
So fine motor, social, emotional, me too.
Okay, so thinking about social, emotional, what are some routines or play things that you guys do on a regular basis that would be good to, like, I don't know, be more specific about when you're scheduling those of certain skills that you could look at. So just regular things that you do on a daily basis in your classrooms.
You can kind of look up at some examples in the parentheses.
I don't know. I kind of go back to the stuff when we're reading stories and stuff. I just talk to him about how it relates to their life or their situation or how it's working, and how do we handle that with ways that you use your choices and stuff, like the things that you saw, and how do we do it differently.
I think what I'm thinking too is like ways that they can practice those social emotional skills. So deliberately
centers like playing in house.
Right.
So like
Yep.
you join in
Right,
and
yeah, monitor
Mhm.
or the teacher.
Yeah.
or every kid gets hurt, you have them check on their friend. Give them
Mhm. Or like at recess, what is something you could do, or during free play time? So think about the routine time that you have in your day, built into your day, and then think about the types of things you could do within that time frame to help build or develop those deficient skills. So they would put those.
Right. So you can, then you put those routines down on the side. So if it's free play time, or if you have a free play center, if you don't, you should really work to try to figure out how you can schedule that in. So free play center time,
Snack time.
on the next column, it would be these are students that could really benefit from that. And like, this is the activity then that I'm gonna plan to do during that time, during center time, so that they can practice on that social emotional skill. So think about that and jot a few things down, and then we'll share what your ideas are.
Make sure you pause and take some time to jot information down. Stop the recording, and then when you're ready to continue, you can resume.
Okay. So if you forget everything that I said, you can go back and watch this again. I'm sure you'll watch it 5 or 6 times. So the last thing we want you to do and why we gave you the sticky notes is we gave these resources are for parents to have activities that they can do at home with their child as well to work on these. So looking at your sheets, what I just wanted you to do is just have a couple minutes to just tab and write names on the sticky note, the activities that you're going to have copied for parents to hand them at conferences. You can attach those to their student reports when you're giving them to them. So here's your kid, this is how they scored on ASQ, and here are some activities that are available for you to practice with them. My suggestion would be if you pull some activities that are younger than their child, when I copy them, I would just put like the sticky note or something over the month so they don't look at you like you don't know how old their kid is because you're giving them a 36-month activity. But since we don't range in age from 3-year-olds to 6-year-olds that took the screener, we wanted to make sure we had everything in one place. So
But they can use it.
yeah.
If you want to make cleaner copies, just get your book and you can make different copies of them. It looks like they got some.
Depends on how hard you press the window.
So if problem solving is an issue, you're just going to sticky note that page and write all your problem solving kids on that sticky note. So when you look at it and make your copies, you don't have to go back to another piece of paper to see who you wanted to make those for. The ASQ3 or the ASQ SE2, that's just the social emotional piece. They don't have a learning activities book for that. So that's why there aren't copies of any of those activities for you in your folders. So when you're meeting with parents, that would be another good use of that last page, is just trying to generate for them some activities that would help with that social emotional piece. Looking at some, there might be a website of mindfulness that they could practice with their kids for breathing techniques, talking about stress balls and, just different ways to be able to do some self-regulation. So just thinking of some of those things when you're talking with them about that.
And another place you could go is Panorama, especially kindergarten. We have those the results from that SDL survey. And from that, when you look at the results on that page, in the printout, there's an activity that a parent could do with a child if they were deficient in one of those areas. So that might be another place just to look.
What are your suggestions if you see problems that the parents apparently don't see?
I would just tell them.
Still share stuff like this with them?
I would, because they lots of times they're seeing their kid at home.
Right.
With not a lot of other kids around. So when your kid is in a group, I've noticed that these are some things that are happening. So even though your screener isn't showing those results,
Right.
these would be some good suggestions for you. Okay. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for them for you to talk to them about some of their deficit areas. And it's not that their screening information was wrong.
Right.
We all know our kids act differently when they're one-on-one or one-on-two than they are when they're in a group of 24.
And some of them in pre-K and kindergarten, they've never been, some of them, I don't want to say haven't been socialized, but they haven't been around
Right.
more than maybe 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
And then some have. So I think that's just a good way to address it, is just say, when they're at school, they're around numerous children and adults, and they haven't developed those skills yet.
The larger
Pretty
group of
common.
their peers than they have been. So, any other questions? Well, if you guys have any questions or need anything else, you can just email me. But thank you for taking time to have a
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.